The stranger who knew her name, welcome to my channel. Once upon a time, in a quiet town where the nights felt heavier than the days, there lived a young woman named Emily Ross. She was 27, practical yet restless, someone who carried invisible scars of disappointment wherever she went. By day, she worked at an insurance office, the kind of job that paid bills but drained color from her life. By night, she returned to her small apartment, where silence was both a comfort and a curse. Emily wasn't the type of heroine who saw herself as brave. She second-guessed everything, from the clothes she wore to the words she spoke. People called her cautious, her ex-boyfriend had called her predictable, and she had almost believed him. But all it took was one stormy night to prove just how wrong he was. That evening, the rain struck her window like 1,000 impatient knocks. Emily sat at her kitchen table, her laptop open with a half-written resignation letter staring back at her. The cursor blinked like a dare, but she couldn't bring herself to hit send. Quitting felt like letting go of her last piece of control. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. At first, she ignored it, convincing herself it was a spam call. But 15 minutes later, it rang again. Then again, and again, every call spaced perfectly, as if someone were timing it. When she finally answered, she expected silence. Instead, she heard it. A low, deliberate breath. Emily. The sound of her name from a stranger's lips hollowed her chest. The voice was unfamiliar male, deep, unsettlingly calm. She gripped the phone tighter. "Who is this?" The line went dead. Her pulse thudded in her ears. Fear prickled beneath her skin, but so did anger. Who would play a game like this? Once upon a time, she thought danger lived only in fairy tales. But tonight, Emily would discover the monster was real, and it already knew her name. Silence. Then the story resumes. Emily locked her front door, though she knew it was already locked. Her reflection in the window seemed to watch her, pale and wide-eyed. She forced herself to breathe, to think rationally, but rationality ended when another buzz shook the phone in her hand. This time, it wasn't a call. A text. "Don't go near the window." Her throat tightened. Slowly, she turned toward the glass. The rain blurred everything outside, but beyond the downpour, she thought she saw a figure. A tall, unmoving shape across the street, watching. Emily yanked the curtains shut, her hands shaking. She wanted to dial 911, but doubt clawed at her. What would she say? Someone texted me about my own window. Someone knows my name. Her phone chimed again. Don't trust the police. Emily stumbled back, her heart slamming against her ribs. Whoever this was, they weren't just taunting her. They knew her choices before she made them. She whispered into the silence, "What do you want from me?" The reply appeared instantly, as if the sender had been waiting. "To keep you alive." The words hit her harder than a threat. Alive from what? From who? And how could a stranger know she was in danger before she even believed it herself? The lights flickered. Thunder rolled, rattling the window, and then, with a sharp snap, darkness swallowed her apartment. Emily froze, clutching her phone as its glow became the only light. Another message appeared on the screen. "It's already inside." Her breath caught. Slowly, she raised the phone's light toward the hallway. Her bedroom door, which she remembered locking, now stood cracked open, and from inside the darkness came the sound of breathing, not hers. The stranger who knew her name. It started with mysterious calls from a number she didn't recognize. At first, it was just a missed call or two. Then, it escalated to 3 or 4 calls every night. And then, one night, right before her eyes, the caller ID flashed, unknown number. Emily picked up. On the other end, a man's raspy voice whispered her name, Emily. He didn't say anything else. He just kept whispering her name like it was a curse. Then, the line went dead. After that, the calls stopped. But then the texts started. Don't go near the window. The first message read, Don't trust the police, sighed the next. A chill ran down Emily's spine. Who was this person? Why were they sending her these creepy messages? And how did they know her name? That night, the storm hit. Rain lashed against the window panes. Wind howled like a wounded animal, and thunder roared its defiance. Emily was home alone. Her boyfriend, Mark, was away on a business trip. Suddenly, a light flickered across the street. Emily gasped. There, silhouetted against the window of a house across the street, stood a man. He was tall and thin, with sharp features. He was watching her. Before Emily could dismiss it as paranoia, the lights went out. The room was plunged into darkness. Her phone was her only light. In the sudden blackness, her heart pounded against her ribs. Was the watcher still there? Had he come to harm her? Just then, another text came in. It's already inside. What did that mean? Then Emily heard it. A noise at the other end of the apartment, by the door to her bedroom. It was a soft sound, like someone breathing. Emily's blood ran cold. She had locked her bedroom door before going to the living room window. Had the stranger gotten in somehow? Who was he, and how did he know her name? Was he there to kill her? Or was it something far worse? To find out, click here to watch the next part of this horror story. Quiet. That's how Emily liked it. So when the phone rang for the 3rd time that evening, she frowned. The caller ID displayed an unknown number. Hello, she answered cautiously. On the other end, a man's raspy voice whispered her name. Emily. Startled, she could only manage a "huh," which seemed to amuse the man. He chuckled softly and whispered, Just wanted to say hi, Em. Long time no see. Before she could respond, the call ended. Shaking off the unsettling encounter, Emily tried to focus on her dinner. But the events of the day, a series of anonymous phone calls, and the ominous whisper of a stranger had shaken her. Who was it? Why did he know her name? And why did he call only to hang up? As if to answer his question, the phone rang again. Startled, Emily jumped. This time, the caller didn't even bother with pleasantries. A gruff voice sent chills down her spine. Don't go near the window, Em. It's not safe. Then, before she could react, the call disconnected. Emily stared at the phone in her hand, fear constricting her throat. Was this a prank? But who would find amusement in such a thing? The texts came in rapid succession. Don't trust the police. They're not here to help you. No one is. Each message hammered in her chest, amplifying her terror. Suddenly, the lights flickered and died, plunging her apartment into darkness. A low growl echoed in her ears. Something heavy landed on the table beside her, making her jump. Fear lent her eyes the power of night vision. She saw a dark, hunched figure across the street, its face obscured by the shadows of a hoodie. The watcher? Emily's heart pounded against her ribs, a trapped bird desperate for escape. She fumbled for her phone, its small light a feeble defense against the enveloping darkness. Just then, another text arrived. It's already inside, it read. Her blood ran cold. What was inside? The room was still dark, but a new sound had joined the chorus of the night, soft, even breaths that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. Then she heard them again, closer now, and her blood froze in her veins. The breathing was coming from her bedroom. She had locked the door. It was 11:37 p.m., and Emily was getting ready for bed. For the past hour, her phone had been blowing up with calls from an unknown number. Caller ID said it was from out of state. She let it go to voicemail. The voice on the other end, raspy and low, simply whispered her name before hanging up. Just as she reached for her moisturizer, the phone rang again. This time, she picked up. "Who is this?" "Don't go near the window," the voice rasped. Then the line went dead. Startled, Emily turned to the window. The blinds were shut, but she could still see the heavy snowfall outside. The wind was picking up, rattling the window panes. Shaking off her unease, she went back to her phone. Another call, then another, each with the same chilling message. By now, her hands were clammy, and she felt a growing sense of dread. Was this a prank? Was she in danger? She tried calling back, but the number didn't connect. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the barrage of calls stopped. Emily, shaken but trying to calm herself down, went about her evening routine. She washed her face, brushed her teeth, all the while keeping an ear out for her phone. As she was about to blow out the candle on her nightstand, the phone rang. Startled, she fumbled with the candlestick, letting out a small scream. The room plunged into darkness. As she groped for her phone, a new message came through. "Don't trust the police," it read. Terror surged through Emily. What did it mean? Was someone out there watching her? Just then, the lights flickered back on. Outside, the storm seemed to be reaching its peak. The wind was screaming, the snow swirling, but it was the sight that greeted her as she stepped out of her apartment that made her blood run cold. Across the street, silhouetted against the flickering light of a street lamp, was a man. He was tall and thin, and he seemed to be watching her. Emily gasped and quickly retreated back into her apartment. She locked the door, leaned against it, trying to steady her breathing. Then another text came through. "It's already inside," it read. The message was followed by the sound of soft breathing. Emily whirled around to see what it was. The bedroom door was slightly ajar. She had thought she had locked it. Hadn't she? If you like the story so far, please subscribe. We have more scary stories coming your way. And that's the end of the story. So please like, share, and comments below, so you won't miss of our new stories. Thank you for watching.